There's quiet on the table beside the open book. A cup gone warm, a pencil line, a second longer look. Nothing asks for more of me than simply staying here, while the room fills up with little sounds that never interfere. The chair shifts softly somewhere, a door opens then closes. The day moves on in lowered tones, and no one seems to notice how easy it can feel to let the hours pass when the world is not demanding that every moment last. I don't need much to feel alright, just somewhere still and somewhere bright. Quiet on the table, quiet in my hands, quiet in the little things I do not need to understand. Quiet on the table, holding up the day like a simple kind of comfort that does not ask to stay. Pages turn in smaller circles, light moves over wood. Even all my unfinished thoughts seem softer than they should. And maybe that is enough to make the moment kind. A room, a seat, a little peace, and less noise in my mind. No headline, no answer, no need to make it more. Just this soft and steady hour and the hush between the doors. Quiet on the table, quiet in the air, quiet in the passing time and in the fact that I am here. Quiet on the table, that is all I need for the day to feel a little less like something I must be. Slow coffee city in the afternoon, steam rising easy in a quiet room, windows holding reflections of the street, people passing by in measured feet. A low conversation near the wall, a record spinning somewhere down the hall. The kind of hour that doesn't need a name, just a softer way to move through time. Slow coffee city, everything moves kindly. Even all the busy corners feel a little less behind me. Slow coffee city, hold me for a while in the cups and in the crosswalks and but not too hard. The day is loose around the edges, and every little ordinary thing feels easier than it did before. Maybe calm is not a place, maybe it's a pace. Slow coffee city, stay around me gently, in the tables and the traffic, in the soft electric light. Slow coffee city, you make the whole day wide, and let me breathe inside it.
Passenger seat light on the dashboard, moving across your sleeve. Traffic signs in quiet buildings, passing slow as if they breathe. No one's talking much, but it doesn't need a word. There's comfort in a road that asks for nothing to be heard. The city shifts in softened lines, glass and wire, sky and turns, and every mile feels lighter the less I try to name it. Sometimes the best kind of company is simply staying near, while the road keeps right in silence through the space between our ears. Passenger seat light, falling warm and low, making every passing corner feel like somewhere I could know. Passenger seat light, simple as can be, still it makes the whole drive gentler and a little kind to me. The green light opens, then another, and the song turns with the lane. Everything keeps moving forward without feeling far away. No destination shining, no urgency to prove, just the sound of tires and the easy way we move. Passenger seat light, stay with us a while, on the roads and over mirrors, in the glass and in the sky. Passenger seat light, I will think of you as the kind of quiet comfort that can ride the whole way through. Between the pages, a pressed and quiet day, a line I almost underlined and let just stay that way. The room is full of smaller things, a clock, a chair, a pen, and all the world beyond the glass can wait a little in. I like the way the silence works when nothing pulls too hard, when thoughts can move like steady hands instead of racing through the dark. There is comfort in attention, in the shape of what is near. A page, a note, a little time, and no need to disappear. Between the pages, I can find a place where the day becomes a softer thing and time slows down its pace. Between the pages, the noise can fade away, and every unfinished thought of mine feels easier to face. A lamp above the corner desk, a shadow leaning long. Even all the words I haven't found feel less like something wrong. Not every hour needs to shine, some just need to hold what I am trying to become in quiet lines and notes. Between the pages, I can feel it now, the little kind of steadiness that helps me through somehow. Between the pages, that's enough for me. A room, a thought, a slower breath, and somewhere I can be. This room has soft corners, nothing sharp enough to stay. The light falls low across the shelves and rounds the edges of the day. A sweater on the chair back, beside the sink, all the little signs of living that give the space its shape. I never noticed how much peace can live in ordinary things until the hours settle down and stopped asking to mean something. Now even silence has a color, somewhere between gray and gold, and all the air around me feels easier to hold. Soft corners, soft light, soft enough to stay all night. Soft corners, soft sound, keeping all the noise turned down. Soft corners, that's what I need. A place that doesn't push too hard, a room that lets me breathe. The floorboards hung
past is made of details, small enough to miss, until the whole room gathers them and turns them into this. Soft corners, soft night, soft enough to make things right. Soft corners, soft air, a quiet place to leave things there. Soft corners, stay with me till the world outside grows gentle too, or doesn't need to be.
I took the long way home again, not for distance, just for time. Past the stores with evening in them, past the windows catching lines. But whatever light was left on the roofs and in the lanes, and somehow all the extra minutes felt like something I could say. There's no story in it really, no surprise around the bend, only streets I know by heart now, looking easier than then. Maybe that is why I choose them. When the day gets hard to hold, the familiar can be tender. When you let it move you slow, the long way home gives the hours room to loosen at the edges and leave a little calm. The long way home, I know it by the way. It never asks for anything but lets the day grow quiet. A red light, then a green one, a song turning low, a stranger walking under lamps, a dog pulling at its rope, and everything seems balanced between arrival and delay. Like maybe peace is not a place, but just a gentler way. No rush, no race, just a little more road and a little more space. The long way home, I will keep choosing, for the grace in all its minutes and the softness in its moving. The long way home, sometimes that's enough to make the whole day easier, to set down when I'm done. Warm mug weather in the kitchen, steam against the morning air, a
day begins in lowered colors, not dim, just calm and easy. And I like the way the room does not ask me to hurry. The spoon taps once and all is still, except the distant passing wheels. And maybe that is why the hour feels so kind, because nothing needs to become more than what it is. Warm mug weather, that's the kind I need. Something simple in my hands, and a little room to breathe. Warm mug weather, staying close to me, in the cup and in the quiet, in the shape of a slow day. The notebook opens, the page waits, the light moves just enough to let me know there is time, there is stillness, there is no need to outrun either one. Some comforts are small, but they hold the whole day up. Warm mug weather, stay around a while, in the steam and in the windows, in the softness of this hour. Warm mug weather, I'll remember you as the quiet kind of comfort that got me through. Ceiling light and rain outside, a room made small in a good way, drops tracing down the glass, like the evening chose to stay. There's a calm in hearing weather from a seat you do not leave, like the world is moving softly and letting you just be. The lamp hums low above the desk, the page is patient in my hand. Cars go by in blurred reflections and disappear like passing thoughts. I think I like these quieter hours, when the world becomes a frame and all the noise I carried in begins to lose its shape. Ceiling light and rain, that's enough tonight. the blue. Nothing needs to happen. Nothing needs to change. Still the hour feels complete in its own unhurried way. Some nights heal by doing almost nothing at all. Ceiling light and rain, stay until I sleep in the glass and in the shadows, in the quiet that you keep. Ceiling light and rain, I know I'll come back here when I need the world to lower into something I can hear. Half full notebook by my elbow, lines waiting without complaint, a few crossed out thoughts in one good sentence that almost says what I meant. There's comfort in beginning slowly, in not needing to know the end, just letting words come into shape, like something learning how to stand. The room is quiet in a working way. Keys click once and then again. A chair shifts in the distance and the day goes on beyond the wall. I do not need perfection here, only time enough to try. Only this small, steady motion and a softer state of mind. Half full notebook, more than enough for now. A page that doesn't judge me and a place to set things down. Half full notebook, open on the table, teaching me that unfinished things can still be beautiful. I used to fear the empty space, now I like what it allows. The chance to move without forcing, the room to breathe around the thought. Not everything unfinished is missing something. Some things are simply on their way. Half full notebook, stay with me today, in the margin and the pencil line and the quiet where I work. Half full notebook, I'm learning from your grace how to let a thought be partial till it finds its place.
Midnight
midnight without noise. The city finally set down. It's heavier hands and louder voice, and left the roads to glow in softer lines than daytime, and windows have gone dark in the hush that gathers slowly around the edges of the block. I like this hour better when the pressure has grown thin, when even unfinished questions lose the sharpness they came in with. The lamp is low, the page is still, the drive is long, the air is cool, and somehow that is all I need to let my mind come through. Midnight without noise feels kinder than before, like the world has closed its busiest parts and left the better doors. Midnight without noise, stay a little near in the roads and in the room light, in the silence I can hear. Some songs are made for daylight, but this one fits the blue. The later hour, the slower breath, the thoughts I don't push through. No rush, no voice, only the steadiness of midnight without noise. Midnight without noise, I will think of you when I need the world to lower and leave me something true. Midnight without noise, gentle as can be, still enough to hold the hours, still they soften into sleep. Streetlights in a quiet key, shining on the avenue. Nothing loud in how they hold the corners that I'm passing through. Cars roll by in measured lines, windows glow and then are gone, and the whole night seems arranged to let the softer thoughts come on. I don't need to know the city better than I know it now. It's enough to let it carry this slower version of the hour. There's music low behind the glass, a stool being set back in place, and every little closing sound feels gentle in the darkened street. Streetlights in a quiet key, that's the kind of song I need. Something low and warm and steady,
turns slow beside the curb. A cyclist disappears ahead. The sky above the buildings holds the last blue thread. And all the day I carried feels lighter than before, as if the night has opened up a calmer kind of door. No grand scene, no silver screen, just city light and something clean. Streetlights in a quiet key. Streetlights in a quiet. Stay a little longer now, in the glass and in the shadows, in the roads beneath the clouds. Streetlights in a quiet key. I remember how you moved, like the sound of evening, making everything more smooth. White curtains moving with the smallest breath of air. The room says almost nothing, still I wanna stay in here. There's a half-read book, a quiet chair, a glass of water, and enough light to know I'm somewhere I can linger. The day beyond the window can keep its own shape. I do not need to follow every sound it makes. Sometimes stillness has a pulse so low you only hear it when you stop naming everything and simply let it be there. White curtains moving, that is all I need. A little change inside the room, a little space to think. White curtains moving, slow against the light, making everything around me feel softer than before. Even the dust looks peaceful, turning in the air. The kind of ordinary beauty that disappears if you stare. So I just let the moment remain what it is, a quiet room in motion, a gentle kind of drift. Some comfort is almost invisible until it starts to steady you. White curtains moving, I will think of this when the world feels overfull and I need a softer edge. White curtains moving, keep the hour loose till all my thoughts fall into place without me making them.
driver's side blue on the window and the wheel. The city stretching out ahead in shapes that barely need to speak. I take the lane that opens up and let the music ride, with nothing urgent in the mirror, nothing pressing from behind. Some drives are made for thinking, some are made for letting go. This one fits somewhere between, a moving kind of calm. The lights on overpasses, the signs above the road, all of it familiar, still easier than I know. Driver's side blue, that's the color of this hour, falling soft across the dash and making distance feel less hard. Driver's side blue, stay with me a little while, till the road and I are both moving easier somehow. There's comfort in the simple hum of tires keeping time, and not needing every mile to mean a thing tonight. Just the lane lines and the chorus, and a little open dark enough to let the day unfasten from the inside of my heart. No reason to rush it, no need to arrive. Some roads are good just because they let you drive. Driver's side blue, I'll remember you that way, as the shade of steady motion at the end of a long day. Driver's side blue, soft against the glass, a little kind of nowhere that I was happy to pass through.
Piano by the counter, soft enough to let the room stay room, not taking over anything, just giving the cups a little tune. The spoons and saucers answer in their small metallic way, and all the people reading seem to breathe in time with it. There's a coat beside a chair, a notebook opened halfway, a low discussion in the corner about something not too urgent. And I like how the music sits inside the afternoon, without asking every silence to become a different thing. Piano by the counter, that's the kind of sound I trust. Something warm and almost hidden, something calm without a fuss. Piano by the counter, keep the whole room light, in the cups and in the pages, in the hour passing by. I don't need a bigger story than the one this place is telling, with the hiss of milk and coffee and the wood floor under feet. Some songs are best when they belong to everything around them and still leave room for thought. Quiet beauty knows when not to ask for more attention than the moment has. Piano by the counter, stay until I is the sound of one good hour made easier to keep. Piano by the counter, I'll hear you later on, when I need a softer room inside my mind again. Rear view haze, the road behind me softened into lines of light. Nothing I need to go back for, nothing I need to name tonight. The glass holds small reflections of signs I've already passed, and the dark between the lanes feels kinder than I asked. There's a comfort in not holding every hour too close, letting what is over become glow instead of weight. The song stays low, the road stays wide, and all the gay I wore begins to lose its harder edge with every mile some more. Rearview haze is where the heavy goes into the blur behind me, where the softer distance glows. Rearview haze, keep the whole night slow till I can feel the quiet more than everything I know. An exit sign, a gas station, a truck in the farther lane, no big revelation waiting, only movement through the dark. And sometimes that is better than trying to solve the day. A road that keeps on going and has so little on the way. Not every ending needs a word, some just fade into the rear view. Rear view haze, I would think of you as the color of release on a road that carried through. Rear view haze, stay a little nearer till the night becomes a place I no longer need to fear.
Soft focus workday, screen light and a coffee ring, a list of things to get through, and a song that doesn't push too hard. Keys click in a steady rhythm, the room stays quiet in return, and all the tasks in front of me feel possible enough to start. I used to think I needed noise to outrun what I had to do. Now I like a lower kind, the one that leaves some room to move. A window, a desk, a measured beat, a pace that doesn't steal my breath. And somehow in that smallest inside the beat. Just a little steadiness repeating underneath. Soft focus work day. Stay until I'm through. In the bass and in the keyboard light. In the little things I do. Soft focus work day. I'll come back again for the way you make the hour feel less sharp than it has been. Next exit, maybe, or maybe not. The road is simple enough tonight. I don't need a plan to follow, just enough gas and a decent song. There's comfort in a sign. You don't have to take and leave in some direction, loose around the edges. The service road, the passing lights, a diner open somewhere far. Everything feels optional, and that makes the whole thing kind. I used to think I had to know exactly where the evening went. Now I like the smaller freedom of not deciding yet. Next exit, maybe, that's a good enough answer for a road that isn't asking where I'm trying to get faster. Next exit, maybe I can live inside that space. A little room for changing course, a little grace. The chorus on the stereo isn't trying too hard either. It just keeps me company between the signs and lane reflectors. And maybe that is why the drive feels so complete. Nothing here is proving anything to me. Some nights go better when you leave them half unnamed. Next exit, maybe I'll remember how that felt. Like a road made softer by the fact it could go anywhere. Next exit, maybe keep that easy in my chest for the days when I forget that not knowing can be rest. Knowing can be rest. Desk lamp ocean spreading over paper waves. The room is dark except this circle where the little brightness stays. Everything beyond the table can remain a distant shore.
I don't need more land than this. I don't need more room than thought. The page begins to hold me the way the sea might hold a boat. Not still exactly, but steady enough to float. There is a kind of quiet that does not empty out. It fills the hour gently till the mind can settle down. Desk lamp ocean, keep me in your light. A small and steady world at the center of the night. Desk lamp ocean, soft against the blue, making all the harder thoughts less sharp to move through. I think I work best when the room becomes this small. A pen, a page, a little gold, and no demand to solve it all. Just one more line, then one more, then breathing in between. The simple tide of effort and the calm beneath the need. Some focus feels like force. This kind feels like water. Desk lamp ocean, I will come back here when I need the dark around me to feel gentler, not severe. Desk lamp ocean, carry me a while in the warm and open center of your quiet little type. Booth by the window, coffee cooling in the light. People moving on the sidewalk, like a film without a plot. There's a comfort in the angle of this seat against the glass. Like the world can pass before me without asking me to chase it. The waiter wipes the counter down. A spoon lands softly in a cup. The room stays warm around the place undo my mind. Booth by the window, that's where the day feels right. Half inside and half observing all the motion in the light. Booth by the window, hold this easy view of the world becoming softer just by passing through. There's no need to turn this moment into more than what it is. A table glass, a little song, a patch of calm in all of this. And still it somehow lingers longer than larger things can do. The kind of hour I'll think about when I need a room to return to. Some places don't change your life, they just make it easier to like. Booth by the window, I'll remember how you kept the room, the street, the hour, the light in one gentle little frame. Booth by the window, stay somewhere in my mind as the seat where everything outside looked kind.
Some days don't need an anthem, they do better with a hum. Something low enough to live beside while the evening comes. A room, a road, a little light, a face across a table. All the things that matter most often speak the quietest. I used to wait for louder proof that I was feeling something real. Now I know the gentler kinds can stay longer when they're small. A hand on the steering wheel, a cup beside the bed, the sound of someone breathing near. The calm inside us home. Low volume hearts, that's how we carry on. Not in fireworks and thunder, but in what stays warm and low. Low volume hearts, still enough to hear above the noise of everything that tries to get too near. Maybe the best kind of comfort never needs to make a scene. It just sits beside the hour till the edges all go clean. And what is left is simple, but more than simple too. A way of being in the world that feels on